Hello everyone. I wanted to break down alternate historical data on the Aztec, starting with their origins. This is being done to show the connections between those we knew in central Mexico to be the Aztec civilization, who were the last great Mesoamerican civilization, and their direct connections to Utah, for the very purpose of dealing with the high strangeness taking place in the desert Southwest, and to include treasure lore that many believe to be Montezuma's treasure. Mesoamerican folklore, along with folklore from multiple Native American tribes in North America, state that all indigenous peoples of the Americas originated from a sacred site in the north that brought their ancestors up from the underworld and into this fourth or fifth world, depending on which tribe, band, or group of indigenous people are being asked. The Aztec from the Central Valley of Mexico state this origin was known as Aztlan. What few know is that this folklore was borrowed by the Aztec from earlier cultures found in present-day Mexico, meaning that Aztlan could not be origin for all the indigenous people. It's possible that Aztlan was the location the Aztec and an earlier culture or cultures went to after exiting out of the true origin site location. Thanks to ethno-historical sources, we know that in the year 1064, 8 Aztec tribes, or Nahuatlaca, migrated from Aztlan to the nearby Culhuacan, or farther away to Chicomostoc, which are also known as the Seven Caves. Now, one by one, they reached the Valley of Mexico, and as you can see from this map, the Spaniards were fully aware of where the Aztec originated from, even adding the location to their 18th century maps. This is the French edition of Mexican-born cleric and scientist José Antonio de Alzate Ramirez's map of Mexico, published in Madrid in 1768. Here we see the migration of the Aztec to Tenochtitlan. It's important to note that the Aztlan migration were not one simple movement of a single group of people. When all the native histories were compared, no fewer than 17 ethnic groups are listed among the original tribes migrating from Aztlan and Chicomostoc. The migrations took place over several generations. Those Aztec people that crossed into present-day Mexico were ruled for hundreds of years by other, more dominant civilizations. Only at a much later period in the 1300s do we begin to recognize those we currently know as the last great empire of Mesoamerica, the Aztec, who, by the way, were no longer wanting to be known as Aztec, they were now the Mexica. So much of what we believed were origin stories from the Aztec turned out to be earlier history that the Aztec found amazing and borrowed for themselves. What few people realize is that it wasn't just the Spaniards that erased ancient Mesoamerican history. In 1433, the Aztec leaders burned the codices and other picture books that recounted the migration to the Valley of Mexico and other origin history. This left only oral traditions and the name Aztlan available to history. So much data has become garbled over the centuries. We know that the Toltec ruled the Aztec for a number of years. We also believe that these origin stories could have come from the Toltec. However, it now seems that even the Toltec borrowed their origin stories from earlier cultures and civilizations. Now, what I believe we must focus on for origin of all the indigenous peoples of the Americas is what's known as Tamoanchan. Tamoanchan, though considered an important cosmological place, is very obscure in Aztec mythology. Myths about it are describing a place where all beings in the world originated. Tamoanchan has been said to mean the great tree, place of origin for all humans, where time began, and lastly, where we go down to our home. Tamoanchan does not originate from the Aztec or Nahuatl. It may be from Mayan etymology, but then, even the Maya are unsure of its true nature and origin. Could it be where the indigenous people came out of the underworld after a great flood to repopulate the earth? Now, according to early colonial historian Bernardino de Sahagún, the time when Tamoanchan's true location was known was so ancient that it had already become lost and shrouded in legend by the time the Spaniards conquered the Aztec. Stay tuned for when we cover the creation of the final Mesoamerican Empire, followed by destruction of the Aztec, and finally, the truth about the Aztec treasure. Please remember to give this presentation a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It sure helps me out. Thanks, everyone.